man, that the Prime Minister ever asked you to run for the Sufria constituency, man. That ever happened?
You want me to tell you the truth? The answer is yes.
He has asked Jeff Bellot. Yes, he has.
And
any other question? Oh, are you running away? All right. So he did say yes. The Prime Minister asked him before. Are you there, caller?
Yes. Good afternoon, Matt. Good afternoon to the panel.
All right. Good afternoon to you.
Yes. One of the main things that causes fish poison in the sea is copper. You see, when certain areas in the sea has copper, a lot of seaweed covers the copper. And when you see the fishes go and they eat the copper, then they become poison. Because I have already gotten fish poison. And when I got the fish poison, when you get fish poison, they usually put you on drips, right? And it makes all your joints painful for how many months? It gives you shit in. You don't even know when the shit comes out your boom boom. So I got it already before in Antigua.
Okay.
And that's the main thing that gives fish poison is copper, because copper is poisonous. And it get it because of the seaweed. When the seaweed goes on the copper and the fish come and eat the seaweed, then that's where it becomes poisonous. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, somebody's asking you a question. Can one use crushed eggshells for calcium?
yes, you can. You can actually. Yes, you can. But you need to clean it, because the eggshell, when you use it, if you don't clean it again, bacteria are growing on there. And then that could be more of a problem for you than anything else. Then the birds get sick, and chickens dies quickly when they get sick. So you can collect eggshells, you clean them, and then you can crush them, and then you have to make sure. And one of the way that to sterilize crush, I guess I'm giving a lot of formulation things here, but and that's fine. You clean the crush, you get them, you can put them. If you have a big old bath, you put them in bleach and stuff like that. It kills it. Make sure you have the right proportion, and then you dry it, and then once you dry it, then you crush it and leave it in the sun. This is one of the ways that you can reuse.
Somebody's asking a question again. We have some smart people here, Jeff. Can you crush the eggshell into the chicken water?
I would not recommend that though, because again, like if your water is not sterile, if your shell is not sterile, you're gonna have a problem that you don't want to deal with. And because we're not only talking about those bad pathogens like we mentioned, but you're gonna have to worry about food health and stuff like that. And then you don't want to over calcium a chicken in there, because then it won't able to go to the bathroom. A lot, just like in Dominican, a lot of people think like banana is great. Banana is good food, but you can't have too much calcium. You're gonna have problems. You got to be careful with that.
Or too much potassium.
I'm sorry, potassium, I meant.
All right, more telephone calls coming here this afternoon. Let's take a phone call. Hello, yes.
Yes, Matt. Matt, the observation Blue Bloom make is a very good observation, because when we were small growing up, we never used to hear about fish poisoning in Dominica. When I got to St. Thomas, that's the first place I heard about fish poisoning, and it's because of the high volume of the boats with all this copper and all this iron they keep dumping in the sea. Now, I remember hearing that some environment people, they had a lot of old cars and old iron, and they dump it someplace on the west coastline and compact it. But copper is very, very, very dangerous. And the kind of filth I hear people talking about on the store lines, especially the west coast. Those fish gonna eat those things, and when those fish eat all this garbage and all this poison, that's the result. So I just find that's a good observation, because as a little boy, I never used to hear about fish poisoning. But fish poisoning is very, 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 very serious. All your hair on your head will be falling out, Matt. Your skin, itching, shitting out, Matt. I can't even explain, because I catch it once. But Dominican have strong immune system, so it didn't hit me hard as it's about 3 or 4 of us that catch it. One of those guys was from Haiti, one was from St. Kitts, and another guy. And it affected me the least. And Dominican have strong immune system, but that's a serious thing with a fish poison, man. It's deadly. So these people, all this filth they're dumping on the shorelines, especially on the west coast, they need to stop it. And those other people in authority, all these old cars and old iron and old steel, they dump it in the river, in the sea. It's not good at all. So I just feel I would make a little comment on that. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Let's take our final call on this one. We'll move to electoral reform and get a quick comment there from Mr. Jeff. Hello, 1:49 is the afternoon time. Hello, talk to me. Yes? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
This is an observation. Some people are preparing food, nothing on their head. Their head is not covered, and all perspiration is coming down. That is a bad thing to do. That's unhygienic. Another thing they do, they take the food, they are cleaning the food in their hands. Whether the food is hot or not, it's still not proper. It's unhygienic. They should never do that. They should use a towel, put the food in the towel, and clean off the food.
All right, somebody's saying that. Thank you very much. Somebody's saying that some people are confusing the two. They are confusing bacterial infection with copper and mercury poisoning, two separate topics. 4493, yes? You agree?
Yeah, great. And I was about to say that, you cannot mix up mercury and copper. And there's some other viruses that we have seen, and we cannot identify their names yet, but there's more to it. And one of the things is, like, when you have a lot of garbage in the ocean and stuff like that, these things are not good. And like you're dealing with waste and all of that. I mean, there's a lot going on behind the scene, but I'm not in the place to publish these people information they're paying us so much money to do the research for. So that is ongoing projects.
All right, let's turn our attention to what's ongoing at this time. But before we do, let's take our final call, and then we'll move on. It's 1:50 to electoral reform. That's a burning subject in Dominica at this point. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Let me tell you, are you talking about the copper? The copper is a thing that contains mercury, and mercury is poison.
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain fish they live on that grass. They call it copper, but the copper itself, it contains mercury, it is poison. And certain fish they love it. Things like bleaching.
All right, Jeff. Thank you very much. Somebody's saying, Matt, your power up is a very, I won't even use the word. She's my worst enemy right now. So I'll give you her number so you can talk to her about that. Jeff should be invited to all radio stations to talk so the information could reach as many people as possible. So Jeff, if you want that to be arranged, I can fix that up for you. Tell the callers, put their radios and TV on when making the phone calls. Jeff, let's move to the subject of electoral reform and the latest statement by our Prime Minister on the very subject. Stick around.
I just need to update and inform the country that the government has submitted to the Electoral Commission, in keeping with Section 51 of the Constitution, all of the draft bills in relation to the electoral reform process. We had made a commitment to finalize those bills. They have been finalized by the Office of the Attorney General and Attorney General himself. And also we have submitted draft copies to Her Excellency, the President. We believe that this is a major step in the fulfillment of our commitment to the nation and to our international partners and our efforts towards electoral modernization, electoral reform. The next step is that we shall also make copies available to all members of Parliament. And the intention there also after this is to have a session, an informal session with all members of Parliament so that we can discuss the bills, hear the comments, hear the suggestions, in essence, do a review with them before those bills are taken to its final process of going to Parliament. Following that, we will also make available on the government's website all of the bills so that any Dominican citizen or resident who wishes to review the bill and to look at it and to apprise themselves of what is contained in those bills, they will have an opportunity to do so. We intend to keep this process very tight. The thinking of the government is to go to Parliament in June before the end of the financial year to do the first reading and quite possibly the second and third reading. There will be a short break between the first reading and the second and third reading, but we intend to have this finalized in the month of June so that all of the necessary budgetary allocations can be made in the upcoming financial estimates effort to give the Electoral Commission not only the legislative mandate, but also the financial resources required to advance the implementation of the electoral reform process. So I'm very happy that we're at this point. We've made a commitment and we have kept that commitment. And my hope and prayer is that we will appreciate that the draft bills will address some of the fundamental concerns or observations which have been raised by certain sections of the public. And also we have taken note of the observations and the recommendations of our international partners. We will also be sending in a formal way copies of the draft bills to the Organization of American States, the Commonwealth Secretariat, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, and CARICOM, so that they too can be informed and apprised of the steps which the government has taken towards the fulfillment and finalization of our efforts towards electoral modernization. So this is where we are. I think it's a major milestone. It's a major step forward. And let us embrace that process and let us put this matter to rest once and for all.
Dominica, get ready for the Summit of Summits taking place in Dominica at the Jungle Bay Resort and Spa. Get ready for some big surprises.
We have secured as a keynote speaker for the opening ceremony, Mr. Darwin Telemack, who is the head of the authority in Antigua and Barbuda. And he will also be part of the conference dealing with the issue, the all-important issue of transportation and logistics, and how, as a country, as we begin to produce, as we begin to export, we can tackle the issue of transportation.
Seats are limited, so register now. Register today with Mr. Nicholas George at telephone number 285-5585. That's 285-5585.
The Dominica Economic Revival Summit opening dinner and award ceremony is on Tuesday, 4th June from 7 p.m., where 9 outstanding Dominicans who have contributed to the country's development will be honored and awarded. There will also be live entertainment included, and all this for only $250 EC per person. This will be followed by the Dominica Economic Revival Summit on Wednesday, 5th June and Thursday, 6th June from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and which is free of charge and will include lunch and snacks.
All right, before we move on to get the comments of Jeff on the whole issue of electoral reform, I want him to listen to, of course, a commissioner. After listening to the Prime Minister, he said the commission, from his point of view, have not received any information from his chairman, and he's not aware whether they received the document. Again, let's listen to Wayne James.
I want to inform you, and I want to inform Dominicans listening to me in Dominica and overseas, that as I speak, Wayne Warnerdin, a member of the Electoral Commission, I am not aware that the Honorable Prime Minister has delivered any such documents to the Electoral Commission. I have not received a telephone call. I have not received an email, and I'm not in possession of these documents that the Prime Minister has spoken about. I can also speak for Hillary Shillingford because we spoke this morning, because I read that information on social media last evening. And the first thing I did was to call my partner Hillary Shillingford and to discuss it. Up to this morning we spoke again, and we are not in possession of those documents. I do not know if they are the Electoral Commission. I would expect, taking into consideration the importance of this electoral reform matter that all Dominicans have been asking for over these years, that such important documents, if they were sent to the Electoral Commission office yesterday, that by now every single commissioner would be in possession of such documents. But I want to put on the record that as I speak to you this morning, I am not aware that these documents are at the Electoral Commission office, because I'm not in possession of it. I have not received an email from the chairman. I have not received a telephone call, so I cannot speak on this. What I can say, I have noticed that the Prime Minister has changed his mind, because if you remember, and I think you have the clipping, when he indicated to Dominicans that he would be releasing this report in the second week of April, he indicated then that these documents would have gone to the public, and then to the Electoral Commission. Now I'm not hearing about the public anymore. I'm hearing about he has sent it to the commission. He has given Her Excellency, the President, a copy, and then he is going to give parliamentarians a copy. They're going to meet in caucus and whatever it is and so on. And then it's going to be on the website and I wanted to play this over again. He said for Dominican citizens and Dominican residents. This is important. This caught my attention. Because he differentiated there for a Dominican citizen and a Dominican resident. And I took note of that. Okay? So Matt, as I am longing to have these documents.
So you're saying you're very surprised that you heard that from the Prime Minister, that he delivered these documents to your commission, yeah?
It's not about surprise. What I'm saying to you is that I am not aware, as a member of the Electoral Commission, I am not aware that such document is at the Electoral Commission until such time. Then I can call you and say to you, Matt, yes, Dominicans, I now have these documents in my possession. But what I want to tell Dominicans is that I have promised. Hilary Shillingford, my colleague, has also promised the same thing. Once this document is in my hand, I will go through it. I'll take my time and go through page by page, line by line, clause by clause. And I will inform the people of Dominica what is in the document. I owe no apology for this. I have said the work that I do is on behalf of the people of Dominica, and it would be callous of me to have such documents in my possession, Hilary Shillingford and myself, and don't inform the population of Dominica the contents of these documents. I think I'll be failing in the duty. I think I would be betraying the trust of the people of Dominica, and I don't want to be found wanting where that is concerned.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Wayne James, Commissioner Wayne James. Your take on everything you're hearing. I mean, to you, it sounds new, or?
It's a lot happening. Let me just respond to this one person. The person is someone who have influence with a relative in parliament right now. So I'll just say that much about the individual. The person is asking me, Mr. Bellot, what you're saying about have you done anything to help the government even make progress or anything? The government don't even know this, right? The Minister of Trade recently, I think some of the last year, talked about, we didn't import eggs. Here's what I'm doing for the people of Dominica. Carry Feed is doing for the people of Dominica. First of all, we do not get any duty free on all equipment we bring in for the hatching equipment up to now. Nothing. Just this week, I had ingredients at the port and was waiting for the PS to sign the document. Since Monday, on the day I went to the port. So today's Thursday. Yesterday, I get in the call saying they just sent the document. I tell them, never mind, it's okay. I'm not going to be hustling. I just went and without the duty free and paid for these ingredients to get to the port. What I want to say to that individual is this. We started a hatchery in Dominica, right? On our own dime, on our own pocket. And in the last 3 years, we have harvested over 240,000 layer eggs. Not eggs, but we have made birth, able to make here in Dominica. We have produced over 240,000 baby chicks in Dominica.
240,000?
240,000 in the last 3 years. We have already made right here in Dominica a little over 200,000 broilers to the market in Dominica. Listen to this. It means we have helped the government by reducing the importation of almost 500,000 birds to Dominica in the last 3 years. You know what that is? Almost $4 million EC circulated into the country. And if you ask those people in government, they don't even know what we're doing. And they don't even know this is good for the government. They should use this to talk. And for the first time in history in Dominica in a long time, The government of Dominica did not have to give anyone any permit to import eggs for the Christmas season that just completed 2023. As a result of the amount of work we have done to ensure the people of Dominica are able to be self-sufficient on eggs. That's what Carrifield has done to help the government and the people of Dominica.
So that's a direct response to somebody in Parliament?
That's a direct response to a family member of someone who has a direct family member in Parliament. Send me this message. And I know why the person has this question. Because the person seems to be getting frustrated, he or herself. So here we go. And there's so many other things we've done, help farmers, giving technical support. And we continue to do this. And I will say it again, we are willing to work in the Ministry of Agriculture and any government in the Commonwealth of Dominica to ensure that this $20 million bill of importation of just chicken parts in Dominica, what we keep record of, we can reduce this. We can reduce this by 50%.
Anything on the abattoir, the new abattoir being built?
One other thing I should say is that I am glad that they put in the money finally into the restoration of the abattoir. And I've been saying to that, I went there one time and they were kind of like freaky about me being there. And they need to do stuff better because they need chillers to chill the birds before they go to the process of harvesting them, in slaughtering them. They need to chill them after they harvest them because that's why they're having a problem with so many red meat because the blood flows and it's not cooled down. So you need to have more white meat in the chicken, not more red. And I hope when they do this, I offer help with our services, what we can do. I am willing to bring our technocrats and scientists to help them with the process. It's up to them. I am not here to talk politics. I'm here for what is in the best interest for the people of Dominica.
All right.
Okay, so I need to clear that. So your electoral reform thing, Mr. Pelte, I listened to the PM. I also listened to Mr. Wayne James. Have you heard a keyword there, the word modernization instead of reform?
Mm-hmm.
That is a very interesting part to me. Because we're talking about reform, he's saying modernization, right? I remember I spoke to the former leader of the opposition. He was holding on for you one time. We had a good discussion about this thing. Electoral reform is going beyond that, Mr. Peltier. No one in parliament or who've been in opposition lately and never seen the need of trying to make one fit all. You cannot tell me as a dual citizen, you can come to Dominica and vote. If you hold a U.S. passport, Canadian passport, you can vote in Dominica, right? Now, the law allows you to come to Dominica to vote as long as people like myself, like in Dominica, very often, within 5 years election cycle. But if someone with a Canadian citizenship can vote, why that who's Dominican, why that person cannot be elected to be part of the electoral process to be a member of parliament? If we go with this reform, down the road, we're going to go back and say, wait a minute. This needs to be addressed. Because what about all these foreign people who are citizenship who come to Dominica here? And if they do come anyway, you're going to have a system of one government will always be in power. That's very dangerous. And I warned the former opposition leader about this. I wrote to Mr. Byron. I wrote to the Electoral Commission about this. And and one of the things I put in there, critical things, are like, anybody who was not born in the Commonwealth of Dominica, naturally born in the Commonwealth of Dominica, should not hold a position as Prime Minister, Minister for Finance, Minister for Culture, nor Minister for Kalinago Affairs. The reason why this is important, imagine you have some people, look at what's going on with this whole issue of buggery, legal, and same-sex marriage. Dominica is still a very conservative country. You have someone from some country coming and want to change the total cultural landscape of this country. Our generation is going to be fading. That's very serious. And these are the things that people need to look at the whole concept of electoral reform. Mr. Wayne James just said to the world that he's not aware of any reform or what the Prime Minister spoke about, including Hillary Shillingford. And interestingly enough, just yesterday afternoon, just about 24 hours ago, I saw Mr. Hillary Shillingford and I had a discussion with him. And we talked about that, and he said, partner, I don't know anything about that. Just yesterday before he came on your program. So what we're hearing from Mr. James is that if he's not aware of it, he's on the commission. So what is his role in the commission? Are they disrespecting Mr. James and Mr. Shillingford? Are they just looking at these people and do what they want? That is serious cause of concern. How could the two members on the panel before the PM go and make this public? The commission should be the first to know this, and then you can go public with it. That is dangerous. And the word modification, I would like to ask him, what are you modernizing?
A modernization. Yes.
What are you modernizing? We are asking for reform, voters' ID card, and things like if a Dominican born there should be able to vote, why can he or she be a member of parliament? You're talking about modernization. What are you trying to modernize through the reform? So I am concerned about this because the way this thing is going on, dates have been given, dates have been passed, dates have been approached, and we are not seeing anything done, Mr. PLT. This is a matter of serious concern. Now, I have a few moments I can be with you guys if you want to call because I have someone waiting for me for a meeting here for 2:15.
You seem to be a very busy guy.
When I come here to do things, it takes so long to get things done in Dominica. You go to one industry, they send you there, they send you there. By the time you're done, the day is over, nothing is done. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality.
All right, so let's take a few calls and then we'll wrap it up there with Mr. Bellows. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Matt,
I'm here.
we're discussing many subjects, but ultimately, what is really happening in Dominica is that democracy is being stepped on and dissolved. That's what's happened. That is the real issue. Mr. Skerritt, he's not interested in democracy, and he wants to go to some other kind of system he hasn't told us. He seems to be leaning very much into the Chinese model by my sizing it up the situation. But he hasn't told us where he's going, but he definitely is not interested in this process called democracy. Enough said.
All right, thank you very much. More telephone calls this time from the overseas line. Are you there?
Hey, Matt, how you doing today? Good afternoon to your guest.
How you doing?
He talked about the NEP and cutting grass. So, can you tell me any other work that the NEP does besides cutting grass?
Good question. I see these guys, they weed stuff by the roadside and they just clean the bay. Like these are things that, as I would say, go back again when Miss Charles and these guys were in government. This is thing people don't know community of service. Not community of service, people have to get paid to come on. So this is what I see they do. So I really don't know much more than that.
I think I know where he's going because there's some people, NEP workers, who have been immersed in government offices. So,
Okay.
or grocery shops, little things like that. But is that the point you're trying to make?
Yeah, I was about to tell them, they have NEP workers working in the private sector, and they usually get, after a while, they get a full-time employment, and in the banks all over the place. So, sometimes when we talk about NEP, we only talk about the grass, but they all over.
But let's admit, my boy, 80% are involved in the same work that we're talking about in terms of cutting grass and keeping the communities clean. Would you agree?
I don't know the percentage, Matt. If you
Well, try to get the percentage and then we'll come back. Okay, thank you very much. 211. Hello. Yes, are you there? Are you there, caller? Yes.
Matt, I want to ask you again.
You like asking questions?
Matt, when will you have a next press conference with the Prime Minister?
I don't know. I'm not the press secretary.
Okay, Matt, whenever that time comes, will you be in the position to ask him on my behalf, on the behalf of Tony Caesar, whether Dominicans will lose their lives at the expense of the state in power? Can you do that for me, Matt?
What do you mean lost their lives? Explain that to me, please.
Please, I beg you. And Jeff, I know if you ask the Prime Minister a question, he'll answer you as well. Jeff, ask him for me now, please. Ask him. I am asking him whether Dominicans are going to lose their lives at the expense of the state in power.
But please break that down for me. Lost their life at the expense at his state in power. Can you break that down for me, please? You sound a little confused on that one. Can you break it down so everybody can understand? I think you want to say something, but you're stopping short of saying what you want. He's not there, he's gone. You see? Explain to me what you mean, because I'm not getting the context in what you're speaking, okay? What you're saying. 449-3095-9697. Yeah, go ahead.
The other thing about this whole electoral reform thing that scared me is that when this whole thing started, the amount of money that was spent or wasted, in my opinion, on Mr. Byron to do this thing, whereas a lot of the people here in Dominica, make recommendations and stuff to the reform. I don't know why the government did not really just go with that. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether Mr. Byron or anyone else make a recommendation. The people of Dominica shouldn't have the power to vote on it. And people should vote on this and not people just deciding what reform should be, but it should be on the ballot that the people of Dominica need to make these reforms. And for young people listening to me today who have not gone to the polls, Mr. Peltier, one of the things young people need to realize why voting is so important. The average people in Dominica between 18 and 27 most likely not to vote in elections in Dominica, and they're making a mistake. The reason for that is that that means they're allowing their grandparents, great-grandparents, and other people to make decisions for them. And when these people gone, the decisions they make for them, now they have to deal with the consequences. So it is very important that young people during election register and make themselves available to go to the polls to vote, because this is what they can change. This is the power they have to elect a government that they want.
All right, somebody's asking another question, and maybe more directed to you. What do you think will bring a change in our representation in the South?
I think the people in the South want representation. There's a few things going on, and I can speak specifically for the Suffolk constituency. And I would advise them, if they're listening. There's a project going on in Scottsdale in my grandparents' property in Scottsdale. First of all, that land, I've been asking this question, and I'd like to ask it again. Can the government make available to us? How did they acquire that piece of land where they build those houses for the people of Scottsdale? How did you acquire that land? Is this in the Gazette? Like, have they published it? And how much you pay for that house? And those houses
for the land.
For the land. And those land you guys acquired or purchased, how do you can you make this public? How do you acquire the land? How much you pay for it? And why is that the people are not getting title for the property that they're having? Because if you go in Scottsdale area, there are 21 homes built during the DFP government, and these homes were built. They paid $23,000 EC for these houses. These people pay those houses, they get their title, and today they're able to take a loan from that house to send the children to school and buy boats and do the fishing and stuff like that. I want to ask that question. And the reason why I'm saying how did the ship come? As long as these people in Scottsdale get these houses, the electoral process system will change significantly. I can tell you this. Once these houses are handed over, this power, from my understanding, that they have looked for other people to replace her, but the guy in charge has not been able to find a reputable person, to my knowledge, to replace her. Once these people get these homes,
is it something personal you have with Miss Janice Charles?
I have I have a good relationship with her. I'm not sure she has a good relationship with me. Just on Sunday Mother's Day, I was in Scottsdale, and I talked to the people and stuff like that. And I saw someone, I told my friend, this person looked like the power rep. So I go, she came, walk away and wave to one of her friends. I say hi to her. She gave me the kind of stingy kind of wave. I just want to let her know, Madam Power Rep, I have nothing against you and I'm willing to work with you. And I just want to let you know that we're all going to die one of these days and leave everything behind. We cannot grasp onto power, because when we go and hold on to power, what ends up happening to us, we make our life miserable.
So how would you grade her in that constituency?
I think when I look at the DLP with all the candidates they had, probably Peanut was probably the okay PAL rep they had. This current PAL rep, I think one of the things that you're probably good at is able to talk to people in a way to make them feel like, not they, but she's important. I'm not very satisfied with her representation. I've let her know that. I am very disappointed with the issue of Daniel Lagua and Dominic Mashaf that was ambushed, murdered, and this could be avoided. And the PAL rep, as the parliamentary representative for the Suffolk constituency, well aware of some of the issues that was going on. I spoke to Mr. Langua shortly after I came from the police station one day. And I asked him about that. Have you talked to the PAL rep? She's a decent person you can talk to and stuff like that. And he told me in his own words, they are well aware of the situation. And that happened. So if I was Prime Minister of Dominica as parliamentary for the Suffolk constituency and Minister for Tourism, that PAL rep would have been fired.
So to say to a Canadian media firm that these people were friends with the accused, am I saying something wrong?
The truth is the truth, Matt. And I watched the document, and what you said was really exactly what's going on in Dominica. But there are some people, they think that they want to control everything and they want to control you. And when you speak up against what is wrong, you are labeled. Anyway, I probably can take one or two more calls.
And that's it. Talk to me, yes.
Hi, good afternoon again.
Good afternoon to
Mr.
you.
Bellot.
Yes.
Mr. Bellot, who do you think is the best person or people to be speaking about electoral reform? Is it Roosevelt Carrot as the Prime Minister of Dominica, as the so-called Prime Minister of Dominica, or Duncan Stowe? Who are the people you think that should be doing that job instead of he always on the forefront telling people what he going to do? Electoral modernization. Where we making Roosevelt Carrot no, we don't know nothing about electoral modernization. We want voters ID card and a complete re-registration first to begin with. So he and all his election modernization, I don't know where the hell he going if he'll have to stick it somewhere. Bye-bye.
All right, and let's take our final voice note there. There's so many phone calls. Yeah, let's listen. Yes, sir.
I have a little advice for you. Ask that guy who asks you these questions all the time. Ask him to write a letter to the Prime Minister. You remember Donald Trump used to write letters to the guy in North Korea, Kim Jong-un?
Yes.
Well, ask him to write a letter to the Prime Minister, put down all his questions, and see where it goes. I mean, he just might answer him. Because, I mean, this guy is ridiculous. This guy has a million questions for you. Every day he has questions. Ask him to write a letter to the Prime Minister.
So, my friend, you heard the caller. So, all the questions you have, put it down on a piece of paper, document it, and send it to the Prime Minister. Mr. Bellot?
I think some of these guys are playing defense all the time. Some of these guys who call the programs, they play defense. And this is why I really want to thank people like Mr. G, yourself, Matt, for making this forum available for the people of Dominica. Some of the other radio stations, like I've noticed something about DBS actually, which I listen to and I have friends work there. When there's a hot topic in Dominica that is not in favor of the government, Monday and Friday talking point program used to be an open line. I don't remember the last time DBS radio had an open line on a Monday and Friday talking point.
So they have blocked it?
I don't have to block it. So my question is, why the open line? When will last they had an open line on DBS between 9, it used to be 9:30 a.m. to 11 or something like that.
9 and 10:30.
And I am asking the people who call Q, the people who make this decision, when there's an open line on DBS radio talking point, the other side need to hear it as well. And that's why this blessing guy, I never met him, but I give him credit because he was one of the guys who used to battle with these guys on DBS and Kyrie. You need to call those radio station because the listeners there are only hearing one thing. What I've noticed, a lot of people listen to Q, they kind of go around and they listen to different things. But you need to call your radio stations as well because their message needs to be gone. And Bubu, to answer your question, I believe that the chairman or the commissioner of electoral reform should be the one to give the announcement that the Prime Minister made because there should be SOPs in place who are responsible for that. I strongly believe in standard operation procedures. And if you don't have that in place, you're going to have a problem. And my final thing about this is this. The people of Dominica should decide what they want for electoral reform. And I'm making a plea now to the Electoral Commission and to the government that in the next general election, hot issues people are divided on should be on the ballot. Let the people of Dominica decide whether they want same-sex marriage or not. Let the people vote on it. Maybe this might be something to entice more people to go and vote in the next election. And Mr. Local Government Commissioner, my good friend, Mr. Toussaint, we've been talking about local government reform for how many years? Since when I was in village council in the 90s. And you are my DDO. You did an excellent job. I'm proud of you. I want to tell you as well, Mr. DDO of Local Government Commission, we also need local government reform because you cannot tell me that you are electing the people from the council, picking someone who did not even contest the election to be the chairman or chairperson of a village council. These things need to be reviewed and these things are wrong and we need to address them immediately. Sorry, but I really have to go. I keep getting this gentleman is waiting on me for a very important meeting.
Well, I'm hoping, are you leaving the state very soon?
Well, I trying to see if I can change my ticket from tomorrow to Saturday. So,
all right, let's talk some time. Thank you very much, very, very much, Jeff. Thank you very much.
Sure.
All right.
I want to agree totally with moving a little bit away I want to agree totally with Mr. James. I think Mr. James have articulated looking at the Prime Minister's comments on electoral reform. I don't understand it. I trying to understand. The first thing I will say is anything that is done by the incumbent to enhance the electoral reform, I always welcome it. So if he makes an announcement, there are certain moves that he's going to take in terms of parliament and in terms of in terms of bringing the electoral reform that we've been waiting for so long, bringing it to Dominicans. I appreciate that. I like that. It's not a problem. But we have a big issue there. We're putting a lot of horses before the cart. And I think that is a fundamental disrespect for the people of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Here it is. We've been waiting for years and years and years for people to have the right to vote or the correct procedure in place, which is one of their fundamental rights. That is the right to vote and to be able to put their eggs for who they believe should govern them. And after so many years, we're now hearing movement as it relates to bringing it to Parliament. But the same people, that is the fundamental cornerstone of those amendments he wished to make, recommendations, whatever you want to call it, they have not been informed. How can you disrespect the people of the Commonwealth of Dominica like that? The people need to know even before Parliament. It's a people's Parliament, you know? And we are hearing about having the first take it to the commission, and we heard from Mr. James that it's not in his hands, but yet still there is an announcement that it has been given to them. Maybe the chairperson of the commission have not yet given it to the various members so that they can decipher what is in it. But this is the problem we have, and I keep hearing from the incumbent leader that there seems to be a fait accompli procedure in place that he has in his mind. It's going to go A, it's going to go B, it's going to go C, and it's going to go D, and whatever you get, you have to take it. But there is something that the incumbent leader must understand. The poor, the people, must never be underestimated. And the people are demanding that this legislation, draft legislation, that the Prime Minister have said that he and the AG have looked at it and they seems to be satisfied with it, and 500,000 more eyes have not seen it, is disrespectful. And it should be placed on notice that we will be awaiting. When I say we, I'm talking about the people of Dominica, will be waiting patiently to see this legislation. If the legislation is not in sync and in conformity with the majority of Dominicans as to whether or not it is equitable, it will not be business as usual, and the people must speak. And the people will speak, and the people shall speak very loudly. And I am telling, and I'm putting it on the record, that Mr. Ronald Charles, as deputy leader of the United Workers' Party, will not stand still to see that the people of Dominica is disrespected by a legislation that does not confirm their wishes.
Dominica, get ready for the Summit of Summits taking place in Dominica at the Jungle Bay Resort and Spa. Get ready for some big surprises.
We have secured as a keynote speaker for the opening ceremony, Mr. Darwin Telemack, who is the head of the Port Authority in Antigua and Barbuda. And he will also be part of the conference dealing with the issue, the all-important issue of transportation and logistics, and how, as a country, as we begin to produce, as we begin to export, or we can tackle the issue of transportation.
Seats are limited, so register now. Register today with Mr. Nicholas George at telephone number 285-5585. That's 285-5585.
The Dominica Economic Revival Summit opening dinner and award ceremony is on Tuesday, 4th June from 7 p.m., where 9 outstanding Dominicans who have contributed to the country's development will be honored and awarded. There will also be live entertainment included, and all this for only $250 EC per person. This will be followed by the Dominica Economic Revival Summit on Wednesday, 5th June and Thursday, 6th June from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and which is free of charge and will include lunch and snacks.
It's on its way. The United Workers' Party, Team Dominica, the Electoral Reform Coalition is launching the first Dominica Economic Revival Summit 2024 under the theme Planning for Sustainable Growth and Development, taking place June 4th to the 6th at the Jungle Bay Resort and Spa. Sufria is on its way.
Present will be key stakeholders, government officials, business leaders, and experts in various fields in Dominica to engage in creating a master plan to serve as a roadmap to Dominica's future development. Healthy talk, lively debate in agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, agribusiness, renewable energy, construction, and the blue and green economy. It's on its way June 4th to the 6th. You don't want to miss the first Dominica Economic Revival Summit, which will begin on June 4th, the 4th until the 6th, where 9 outstanding Dominicans will be honored and awarded at the grand opening dinner and award ceremony on Tuesday, 4th June. $250. This will be followed by Dominica Economic Revival Summit on Wednesday and Thursday, 5th and 6th, from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Secure dinner tickets in person with Mr. Nicholas George at 285-5585. Seats at this economic revival will be limited, so don't delay. Now it's time to restart, kickstart, and jumpstart Dominica's economy. Restore and rescue Dominica's economy.
We have 29 more minutes. It's 2:31.
I want to inform you, and I want to inform Dominicans listening to me in Dominica and overseas, that as I speak, Wayne Warner-Jim, a member of the Electoral Commission, I am not aware that the Honorable Prime Minister has delivered any such documents to the Electoral Commission. I have not received a telephone call. I have not received an email, and I'm not in possession of these documents that the Prime Minister has spoken about. I can also speak for Hillary Shillingford because we spoke this morning, because I read that information on social media last evening. And the first thing I did was to call my partner Hillary Shillingford and to discuss it. Up to this morning we spoke again, and we are not in possession of those documents. I do not know if they are the Electoral Commission. I would expect, taking into consideration the importance of this electoral reform matter that all Dominicans have been asking for over these years, that such important documents, if they were sent to the Electoral Commission office yesterday, that by now every single commissioner would be in possession of such documents. But I want to put on the record that as I speak to you this morning, I am not aware that these documents are at the Electoral Commission office because I'm not in possession of it. I have not received an email from the chairman. I have not received a telephone call, so I cannot speak on this. What I can say, I have noticed that the Prime Minister has changed his mind because if you remember, and I think you have the clipping, when he indicated to Dominicans that he would be releasing this report in the second week of April, he indicated then that these documents would have gone to the public, and then to the Electoral Commission. Now I'm not hearing about the public anymore. I'm hearing about he has sent it to the commission. He has given Her Excellency, the President, a copy, and then he is going to give parliamentarians a copy. They're going to meet in caucus and whatever it is and so on. And then it's going to be on the website and I want you to play this over again. He said for Dominican citizens and Dominican residents. This is important. This caught my attention. Because he differentiated there for a Dominican citizen and a Dominican resident. And I took note of that. Okay? So Matt, as I am longing to have these documents.
So you're saying you're very surprised that you heard that from the Prime Minister that he delivered these documents to your commission, yeah?
It's not about surprise. All I'm saying to you is that I am not aware, as a member of the Electoral Commission, I am not aware that such document is at the Electoral Commission until such time. Then I can call you and say to you, Matt, yes, Dominicans, I now have these documents in my possession. But what I want to tell Dominicans is that I have promised. Hilary Shillingford, my colleague, has also promised the same thing. Once this document is in my hand, I will go through it. I'll take my time and go through page by page, line by line, clause by clause. And I will inform the people of Dominica what is in the document. I owe no apology for this. I have said the work that I do is on behalf of the people of Dominica, and it would be callous of me to have such documents in my possession, Hilary Shillingford and myself, and don't inform the population of Dominica the contents of these documents. I think I'll be failing in the duty. I think I would be betraying the trust of the people of Dominica, and I don't want to be found wanting where that is concerned.
All right, that was Mr. Wayne James. You heard him for maybe a few times this afternoon. He's not aware. He's not aware. So why would the Prime Minister come publicly and state that he gave it to the commission? Mr. Hilary Shillingford is also denying that he has seen that document. So who has that document? Somebody said by giving the president and a few members of the commission and not Mr. James and Mr. Shillingford is a total disrespect. More telephone calls. Hello, yes.
Matt, good afternoon. How are you?
How are you doing, sir? How are you?
Not badly at all in the Matt Peltier. Matt, it's very disheartening to listen to those nonsense I'm going on in Dominica by this government, Matt. You know, that is the height of provocation, Matt Peltier. That is the height of provocation. And according to a police friend of mine, all right, these guys are just recruiting, or seemingly just recruiting labor rights, new labor rights as new recruits now. Because they want guys to do exactly what they want them to do for themselves, Matt Peltier. I mean, there's an electoral commission, and Duncan should be careful as to what he's putting himself in. He has to be very, 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 very careful. All right, because that is not constitutional, and it's not right for the people of Dominica for Duncan to be just doing. I mean, if the Prime Minister tells you to do something that he should not really do, you know, you just say, okay, I will do it. But you put yourself in terrible calamities. It's not right, Duncan. So It's not good for Dominica. And that is just provoking unnecessary, maybe even violence in this country. That is provoking, myself. You know? Anyway, thank you.
All right, thank you too. Thank you. 449-3095-9697 238. Talk to me.
Mark.
I'm here.
Mark.
I am here.
Okay, Mark. Mark, do you remember from the time the electoral reform started, we started talking about electoral reform. The Prime Minister said that he was going straight to Parliament after Mr. Byron finished with him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that, Mark?
Remember that.
Well, Mark, let me not ask you to ask Mr. Skerritt a question for me, because I heard somebody saying something. I don't know if the person was referring to me to ask right to Mr. Skerritt. But let me tell, if it's me, Mark, let me say to the person that I have wrote to Mr. Skerritt and he never responded. The only time I got him answering me a question was when he was on the other side. I asked him a question about Mr. Ken Vital, and that's the only time he answered me, because he could not escape that question. But Matt, I'm not going to ask you to ask Mr. Skerritt for me again. Let me continue asking myself, because he understands well my question. Mr. Skerritt, will Dominicans lose their lives at the expense of you staying in power? Thank you, Matt.
All right, thank you very much. On the telephone is 239. Talk to me, yeah? Hello.
Hey, Mr. Pelter, blessings, bro. What's up?
Blessings to you.
Matt, I listened to Mr. Baylor calling my name there. You don't want him, Matt?
Want him for what? You're gonna sue him? Okay.
No, he just there and I laughing, you know. Matt, I take a conscious decision to pull away from Kyrie. Well, apart from Daryl Titt, well, I felt I was being disrespected, so I rarely stopped because Daryl Titt was just cutting me off all the time. But I'm welcome to call DBS all the time. You know what I did, Matt? I have people that working in DBS that love to hear me. I don't talk in again, Matt, because I don't put nobody in trouble. And I have people that listen to Kyrie that love to hear me. I say, you know something? I take in all my followers and I taking them to Q95. I am not calling the radio station again. Matt, you have to give me an award, Matt? Mr. Bella, thank you. For years, you know, Matt, for years, when I hear people say, oh, Matt, tell Blessings. Oh, Blessings calling too much. Not too right, they're fighting now, they want to bite me. Anyway, Matt, let me give glory to Wayne James and Hillary Shillingford. I want to give thanks to them. Matt, you know Mr. Wayne James is pursuing a law degree, Matt?
Yes, I know that.
I somebody say, oh, but the man he's singing doing, but if tomorrow he come a lawyer, he's in his money, the money going in his pocket, it's not for me, you know. But I give thanks because I know on second thought, you must be checking. Look at who. Criminals alone that's inside there, you know, selling all kind of thing. I do not want to be more specific. I need a law degree as well. So when it comes to interpretation and defending the people of Dominica where the Constitution is concerned, I want to give thanks. I know one of the motivators having to do with what I just stated. So they say, a partner tell me, but Hillary Shillingford is a lawyer, prime minister, a watermelon commissioner. I say, don't worry, I will eat watermelon when I see him. So Matt, Dominican, sit down there. Let me give thanks to the brother that come there, Matt. And, you know, bleed out his heart, Matt. And the people that can influence, Matt, the narcissists and the Astaf and the business people in Dominica. When or if Dominica go up in smoke, or you will not be spared. Or you watching criminals destroy Dominica. Now, or you open the door even wider for this lunatic to just give us what he wants where electoral reform is concerned. So is election modernization. And I will give it to all you. Scary to just talking, man, because you have a few guns around you. You're afraid to die. You're afraid of danger, boy. What you know about danger, boy? You're just troubling Dominicans. And I'm saying that in conclusion, Dominicans have to muster the courage. But that is your country. I mean, we that technically in our country. But the British impose us on them. We all are Kalinagos. We all are Africans. I do not see Kalinagos. I see Dominicans. We're trying to survive on a piece of rock. And one lunatic trying to bring Chinese and all kind of criminals and Tony, and they bring another one they call Hayden, and all of them to destroy us in Dominica. Those who are leaders, make the sacrifice and mobilize the people to rise up against that hijack, Matt, that annexation, Matt. Rise up. We cannot allow Scary to just take over. Now the memorandum of understanding is being unraveled. We're seeing Chinese kicking people, selling cautiones, say they building airport, who says a village, and now Scary coming and talk about electoral reform. What he give us we have to take. All your police officers, all you want to turn the people all your enemy, boss? Have a blessed day, sir.
Have a blessed day too. Let's go to the overseas line. It's already 16 to the hour of 3 o'clock. Hello. Yes, hello. Hello. Nobody home. All right, we'll try another call. Are you there, caller?
Yes, I'm there. Man, have you been watching the news lately where Donald Trump and his one ASCAB, Michael Cohen, were concerned, Matt?
Mm-hmm. I've been watching, yeah.
You see how they were? They were like, oh my God, like ficus thieves, they say in it.
Like rubber and pencil.
Amen to that. Michael Cohen went to jail because of Trump. He came out of jail. Right now, he and Trump in the courtroom there. And they are the two biggest enemies it have with each other. Michael Cohen said that in 2016 there, he would take a bullet for Trump. I tell my pal, well, Trump, if Trump was giving him $20 million now, he wouldn't take it. He hate Trump so, and Trump hate him so. Well, the same thing have to happen to Starboy of stupidity and little Tony, Tato, and also that little midget they have there, that is the Attorney General. We go find out. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. Hello, yes? Turn down the volume on your radio, please.
Okay, Mike, listen.
Thank you.
Matt, have you seen the young policeman?
All right, we're going to cut you off because I just told you again. Turn down the volume on your radio. Okay, thank you very much and call me back. Thank you. Yes.
Matt?
Yes, I'm here, nurse.
Nurse Dairampo.
You're doing a good job keeping your radio down.
Matt, my heart is hurting me in that country, Matt.
Why, nurse? Why are you
Matt,
crying?
I lost my only child.
Uh-oh.
A person make me know everything in Easter that my case was sold. Matt, I cannot give you that story. Matt, I'm alone, me and my husband. I'm got nobody to stand up for me, and I lost that case, and my child was murdered. Matt, Mr. Skerrit come and tell all you in the meeting that he pay everybody in Wesley their money. Not you, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Matt, can a prime minister keep on lying like this, Matt? Matt, can you realize God will take care of him, Matt? Matt, do you know you have a man from Wesley, I forget his name. The man walk up and down in Skerrit office, down where they fix up all the money for him to get his money for his land. His son came in the day, like yesterday, and the man died today or yesterday, this morning, or yesterday the man died, man. Old man. But what you do with people who sticks, they cannot realize he hurting Dominicans, man. Matt, it's hurting me, Matt. How I can live in that? Must I stay here and do I regret it, Matt? I cannot get medicine. I cannot get a blood test. I cannot get nothing. This guy carry the love Dominican people. And none of us, Mr. Asio, his cabinet told him not to do those things. But, Matt, it's so easy to give us what reform we have to get again. I forget. What is it again, Matt?
Electoral reform.
Electoral reform. Matt, you're going in circles. He don't want to give anybody no electoral reform, Matt. But Skerrit. I know your mother, and I know she know God. Skerrit, God will put you down and will believe it's the man that kill you. God, fed up with what you do to Dominicans. Skerrit, we suffer under you. Skerrit, release Dominica, Matt. Skerrit, put us out, please. Put us down, please. Skerrit, we cannot take more. My heart hurt
hurting me. Bye-bye, Amping. Bye-bye.
All right, it's 2:48, boy. I think the old people will say, when you see old people pray on you, it's something else. 2:48. Hello, talk to me. Yes. 4493095. I remember, when they used to say, you see that nun shake that gong on you, that's it. Hello, talk to me. Hello, yes.
Matty talking about shake gong.
That's what's so happy. All rivers is dry.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon to you, yes.
Matthew, you see our whole governance system, Matt, we need to take a good look at it. Because where is the president in all that? The commissioner of or the electoral commission falls under the portfolio of the president. Now I hear in some people referring to Honorable Wayne James and Honorable Hillary Shillingford as opposition commission or some kind of thing like that. And that is nonsense. And if you ask Hillary or Mr. Wayne James, they will tell you they are doing the work of the people. They're not for or against. They have to deal with the work of Dominica on behalf of Dominica, whether you oppose or you in governance. That has nothing, because they are independent, man. And I always have to congratulate Lennox Linton, because I remember both commissioners telling you that the only advice Lennox Linton gave them to tell them that they are not going to get instruction from him. They are there to do the people's work, the people's business. You understand? And the Electoral Commission, it's supposed to be an independent body. That is why the president nominates the chairman. But what we see in Matt is that the commission itself has been hijacked. The president herself has been hijacked. They are not independent, man. They cannot do it. The whole system needs to reshuffle or restructure something, because those people are taking the oath to uphold the laws. I tired, and I will keep saying it, man, to uphold the laws and the Constitution. They are responsible. They are the ones breaking it, man. Because, no system is perfect. But those people that are the guardian, the checks and balances, man, they're selling out for galvanized, for a job, for duty free. You understand? And they are not defending Dominica. We have our political views and our political leaning. Yes, we are permitted to do so, but Dominica has to come first. And that is the problem we have. Roosevelt Scarlett has successfully categorized that situation as a Labour versus UW.
And what do you think should be done about this?
Matt, the only solution, and I tired of Mervyn giving you the solution every day, Tens of thousands of people need to come on the street. That's the only way, Matt.
All right, Dominica, thank you. One day, they say, one day, Pampale. Natasha Wilson now.
They suffer fear we had come Mr. One. Things in the same way like when we start. Because of your neglectful behavior.
Somebody's suggesting, well, it must be Mr. Duncan, Alec Lawrence.
You should have never.
And the president who got the draft legislation. Or is it an invisible draft?
You must always remember when people treat you gentle, you don't treat them unkind. One day, I'll tell you one
day. Sing with me, Dominica.
You you're going to go. One day, I tell you one day, you're going to go.
Somebody else is saying, man, one day Mr. Scary Lies must finish because he would have used up all of them. Shame on you. Huh? That's a WhatsApp message.
Be a party, like your people say, you go pay for it one day.
It's 6 minutes of the hour of 3 o'clock, May 16th, Thursday.
You're hunting on like a fish out of water. Broken to the ain't have a dime. The only work but a Yankee Porter. Because they never learned to be thrifty at no time. Eh, eh. There was a time when money was no problem. You had reason to leave like this. You listen to your broken partners and them. Spend. Easy come, easy go. One day, I tell you one day you're going to go. One day, I tell you one day you're going to go. One day when all is lost, you know what I'm yours apart.
Only on cue.
You will remember, I tried to warn you, but like your people say.
And the old people say, I tried to warn you. All my telephones are going now. Hello, talk to me, yes? Are you there?
My brother, what's up? What's up?
All right, my brother.
Okay, well, you see, again, it's the people that have the man calling the world boss because the people have the power. And from the time I said, go to hell, it's none of your damn business where I get my money from. The people should rise up and shine. Now, he just hearing the people saying what they say. So he continues doing what he does. So, Matt, now, as I listening now, I think you, Matt, should try to reach the president to ask the president if she know anything about that paper delivering. I mean, you can try.
Well, again, as I told you, the prime minister or the president might want to ask the prime minister whether she should answer. That's how it works, you know. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, 256. Talk to me. Are you there?
Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Matt, what I saw yesterday, Matt, I couldn't believe that there is policemen for long men, and they were years. And I saw young police, women policemen, they are inspectors. I frightened young police officer women, they are secret army inspectors, and the policemen with their years, intelligent men, they still wondering what next. It's a shame.
257. Hello, are you there? Yes, I, Blue. Yes, I.
So you have some recruiters on the other side, especially in New York and the Virgin Islands. Is there that they don't want their government to come out of our face? Because while they're on the other side, they're working, they're making their money, they're making another money again. I think the Americans should start to tax them on the extra money they're making every election cycle. They're making the money in Dominica by recruiting people to come down to vote in Dominica. Them recruiters you have on the other side, they know themselves. They know themselves. Bye-bye.
I give you my undivided attention.
Tomorrow is Friday. The 7th day of May. Tomorrow.
So much affection. And to be sad you every step of the way.
On the telephone, hello, talk to me. Yes?
Tuned into your program.
Yes.
And I heard blessings
speak like he addressing the Prime Minister like a ordinary strict man. Blessing should have a little bit more respect for our Prime Minister. And in spite of all the criticism they might pose against him, he's protected by the Almighty.
One day, I tell you one day you're going to fall.
250, hello. You see, there are those who always depends on what side of the fence you stand on, huh? Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yeah? Yes, quickly.
I would like to ask that if Kerry is protecting Dominicans by violating our every law, and this song you are playing there should be a theme song for Kerry. One day, Kerry, you're bound to know. You will respect the people one day.
Hello. God Almighty is the only judge. Huh? Hello, talk to me. Yes?
But I don't want to be in this kind of things about that caller there in itself. The Prime Minister has been disrespecting us for the longest while. Didn't you hear when he said us to go to hell and command for you to come and say, we are all protected by the Heavenly Father as soon as we broke from our mother belly, we have our guys. But God didn't tell us to do nonsense like that. It's a blessed country where we have water, agriculture, food for people to eat like that. My partner, you're not seeing all that, then you come and attack blessings, my brother. Blessings is just a messenger to the people that don't understand the circumstances of life in Dominica. That is what the blessings is. As an average man on the side of the road, that's standing independently to let who that cannot understand know what is going on in Dominica, my brother. The Prime Minister is blessed, but he blessed himself. That's what that means.
One day you're going to find you
Can't get me off your mind, boy. Like the old people say, one day. This is one song I want to play before I go this afternoon there. Very, very interesting song. Gives a message, tells a message. So listen again to Jimmy Cliff. Oh, boy. One day. Now listen well.
There's a day of feasting and a day of farming. Day of sadness and a day of joy. You could see your day of feasting. Life isn't just a little play like
Go to YouTube and pull it out, huh? Jimmy Cliff.
least expected. You were well protected.
Always thought you were well protected.
And now you feel like a fish out of water.
Big sound, Jimmy Cliff. Big sound.
So now you're wondering what's the matter.
This is where we go in the afternoon.
I remember you said it couldn't happen to you.
I remember you said it couldn't happen to you.
Now you're thinking how to start anew. We'll catch it strong.
Big song before we move to flow.
Take heed. Everything in creation must obey the law. It's true in words as it is indeed.
See you again tomorrow, if God is willing.
Yeah.
Don't forget the big summit coming up at the Jungle Bay Resort and Spa.
Remember the said you got to reap what you sow. Simple truth, everybody knows. Oh, what do you want an ounce of exile? What do you know on your last line? Oh, what do you want an ounce of exile? Watching you now on your last line.
I want to agree totally, moving a little bit away. I want to agree totally with Mr.
Dominica, get ready for the Summit of Summits, taking place in Dominica at the Jungle Bay Resort and Spa. Get ready for some big surprises.
We have secured as a keynote speaker for the opening ceremony Mr. Darwin Telemack, who is the head of the Port Authority in Antigua and Barbuda. And he will also be part of the conference dealing with the issue, the all-important issue of transportation and logistics, and how, as a country, as we begin to produce, as we begin to export, how we can tackle the issue of transportation.
Seats are limited, so register now. Register today with Mr. Nicholas George at telephone number 285-5585. That's 285-5585.
The Dominica Economic Revival Summit opening dinner and award ceremony is on Tuesday, 4th June from 7 p.m., where 9 outstanding Dominicans who have contributed to the country's development will be honored and awarded. There will also be live entertainment included, and all this for only $250 EC per person. This will be followed by the Dominica Economic Revival Summit on Wednesday, 5th June and Thursday, 6th June from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and which is free of charge and will include lunch and snacks.
Oh, we're still waiting there for Flo Dominica.
Your country needs you. Hope you realize our government is abusing its power and authority, and it is having a dirty effect on the whole country. It is time for us to take a stand. After all, this is our native land. That is why I came back to stay, to expose the wicked things that are perpetrating. It is only time for the self-destruct. Greed and power is the TNT. The purpose is for our head was for the buck. They don't really care about this country. All this scheming conniving plans have caught up with them. They are facing immense amount of problems, and just as sure as the sun will rise, this government must fall. The handwriting is on the wall. Our Prime Minister, like a dictator. If with him you don't agree, you can't progress in your country. Our government has no respect for the business community. No dialogue, they only passing laws in the street. Taxing the poor ones who have no money, while they're living luxury. As a family and the Prime Minister, and the young boys sitting down Antigua. It is only time for the self-destruct. Freedom power is AT&T. Their purpose in government was for the bucks. They don't really care about this country. All this stealing, conniving plans have caught up with them. They are facing insurmountable problems, and just as sure as the sun will rise, this government must fall. The handwriting is on the wall.
Off for the first 3 months, plus a chance to win a $10,000 Visa cash card.
Floni en magasin neuf à Séoul. Iwive eve pawe pou mene service bao. Nou te promet ou innovation eve nou ka deliver à présent. Boutique Flo à Séoul. Pawe pou mene bao bon qualité service eve produit ou sa tape à plus gros magasin Flo. Si vous voulez gagner un portable neuf, ou registrer pour un service neuf, fait en plainte, ou be pay en bill, ou be simplement mali en chection, ou ça fait tout ça. Côté magasin Flo à Séoul. Comme ça, les oué magasin Flo à Séoul en communauté ou obe en laouia, pas paix. Vini pour quitter travailler Flo ba au bon service professionnel. Magasin Flo à Séoul, n'importe place, n'importe l'air. Ka vini en palapotou. Flo ka vini tout de suite, à dans en l'occasion tout poué.
You an easy way to pay.